Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take this wooden heart and I'm going to take some white paint. This is the Folk Art White Adirondack and give it a full coat. And now I'm going to take one of these beautiful napkins from the Dollar Tree, and it's got a pretty kind of wood look to it, like a wood grain, like a very light wood grain. So I'm going to take it down to 1 ply, and now I'm just going to take this 1 ply and place it on my wood piece to position it to see where I want it, see how much of the image I want on there. But first I need to set that aside and take some of my plastic wrap. This is just plain old plastic wrap, nothing special, no name brand, and I'm just going to smooth it on top. And I had my ceiling fan on because we're in Florida and it's a little bit warm here. It's not really cold here. So here I'm wrestling with the ceiling fan, blowing everything around. So here I placed it back on here, and I did this at Christmas time with some gingerbread wrapping paper on a wood piece as well. The difference is, oh, here's my parchment paper. We need that on top to protect everything. The difference is before I didn't paint my wood piece, and this time I did. And so here's my mini press, pressing everything down, getting everything nice and fused onto the wood. But yeah, before I didn't paint the piece, I wasn't sure how I was going to affect the fusing of the plastic wrap to the wood. So here I'm trying it with the piece, my wood piece painted. And guess what? It totally works. And I use chalk paint. So look, so I just have to wait a little bit because I need to let it cool down. And I'm going to snip off the excess, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the back because why not? So here I'm placing another piece of plastic wrap, smoothing it out, and placing my piece of napkin. And you might be thinking, oh, that's just white napkin. No, it's got like a grain. It's got like a gray wood grain to it, and you'll see it closer at the final reveal. But it's got like a little grain, so it does have a pretty little pattern. So here I'm placing some more of the parchment paper and fusing it with my mini press. And you can use a regular iron, it works just fine. Just have it on high so it's nice and hot, and it's going to fuse everything onto that wood piece. Look at that, nice and smooth. Oh my goodness, it is so good. Now all I have to do is take my finger sander and sand off all the excess tissue paper and plastic wrap. And if you're worried about the plastic wrap, you can always snip it off with some detailing scissors, which I do that in a little bit, and you'll see why. But look how cute, and it's all smooth and pretty. Oh my goodness. So usually I would do a layer of Mod Podge on top, but here I'm going to try something different, and I'm going to take another piece of the plastic wrap, which is blowing everywhere. And I'm just going to smooth it on there, and I'm going to attempt to do a thin layer on the top instead of the Mod Podge. So I've never done this. I'm just thinking, let me try this. So here I'm using my mini easy press and pressing it, going around, and I'm thinking, okay, I hope it's working. I hope it works, because if it doesn't work, I'll still show you. So here I'm lifting the parchment paper, and look, it totally works. It totally works. And look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's a protective layer. I'm like, what? So of course I have to do the front. So do the same thing. Put another piece of plastic wrap and smooth it out, kind of positioning it properly. Smooth it out and use the mini easy press. So I did the back at first thinking, well, if I mess it up, I'll mess up the back. No big deal. But now I'm doing the front. So I'm thinking, okay, this better work this time. And look, yeah, it's a little bit warm, so I have to pull it off real slow. And look, it totally worked. Look at that. And because this didn't have a layer of tissue paper on top, I went ahead and removed the rest of the plastic wrap with some detail scissors. But look at this. Oh my goodness, so good. And now I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant, and with a chippy brush I'm just going to do a light brushing of the sides, because I feel like the sides were way too clean looking, too white. So I'm just taking real light brush and just doing a light brushing all the way around the heart, just to kind of match the gray of the tissue paper. It's got that gray, like a grain, like a wood grain on it. So here I'm just going to go all the way around and just give it that light brush. If I get a little heavy somewhere, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. It just gives it that character. So just go with it. You really can't go wrong. And if you do go way too thick, way too heavy, you can always go back in with some more of the white paint. But look at that, so cute. And now here is my super cute little vintage Valentine sticker. So I'm just going to go in with my detail scissors and fussy cut it, remove all the backing, all the background, and just place this cute little kitty cat right on the side of the heart. Look how adorable. Now all that's left to do is create a little bow, and I'm just taking some of this burlap ribbon that I cut in half lengthwise because it was a little bit too wide, and I'm just going to create a little bow and cinch it in the center and use a piece of that same burlap strands that I removed and just tie it with that. Tie a good double knot to secure it well, and snip off the excess and adhere it to the top of my cute little wood piece, my cute little heart. Well, here I'm trimming off some of the excess on the bottom. Make sure everything's nice and even. So here I'm just going to take my glue, see where I want it, and place it on my little heart. Look how adorable. But now I feel like I still need something, so I'm taking these cute little buttons. One is like a red button, one is a brown button, and I'm going to adhere the brown button onto the red button, and then take the grouping of the red and the brown and placing it on the center of the bow. And here's how it looks, and the closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of these plain trays from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove the backing and taking some of the folk art chalk paint in the color Willow Mist and some of the Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to go in with both. And the reason why I went in the center with the color pink is because I want to use one of these napkins from the Dollar Tree. I thought it was really cute. It's got a little bit more texture than I like, but that's okay. So I'm just going to go in with the Mod Podge on this one because of the edges of the tray. I didn't think I'd have a good way of cutting the plastic and the tissue paper. So I'm going to do something different with this one. This one I'm removing the extra ply and I'm setting it down, taking some water, a little bit of water in a dish and a thin small brush, and I'm just going to paint some water onto my napkin to where I want it to cut. That way it doesn't have a rigid straight line. That way it has kind of like a torn look. And originally I was going to do the borders, so that's why I'm doing this side, but I changed my mind and I just decided to do this technique instead. So here I'm just gonna do a little bit more of this water painting because I'm thinking I needed to use that border. So here I'm just going to go ahead and tear off what I don't want. But like I mentioned, I did end up removing the border itself, and I didn't use as much napkins as I thought I was going to do. So here's my piece, and I'm taking my Mod Podge. It's just the matte, and I like to use this brush here from the Dollar Tree. It's got these thick bristles. They're nice and sturdy, almost like a nylon. Place a layer of the Mod Podge, place my piece of napkin that's got the torn edges on it, and just smoothing it out and putting my top layer of the Mod Podge, and then allowing that to dry until it looks like this. Look, it looks really cute. So now here is my little vintage Valentine, and again I'm going to fussy cut. And so look at them, this cute little couple, little boy and girl, so innocent, so cute. I figured that was perfect with these little heart balloons everywhere. So I'm just going to place them here on the left side, and look how adorable. Oh my goodness, I just can't. So now I'm going to take some jute twine and I'm going to give it a border. Even though the edges look pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little finishing touch with some of the jute twine, and I go around the whole inside edge. So here I'm taking another piece of this burlap ribbon. It's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to cut this one in half as well. And I'm going to use half for one project, and I'll end up using the other piece for later on. So here I'm removing a couple of the strands. I don't need it so wide. And creating my little ribbon, my little bow, taking another one of those strands and pulling it together, give it a nice good secure knot, double knot. Pull it nice and tight so it'll be a really cute bow. Snipping off the excess and removing some of the strands on the bottom as well, just to give it that frayed look, and placing it and adhering it on the inside of my little tray like this. And again, I feel like it needs a little something in the center, so I'm taking 2 more of these little buttons. This one is a white cute little flower, and I'm placing a pink button inside the flower. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, I just can't. So I'm going to place this inside my little bow, and this DIY is complete. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I am taking these wooden hearts on stakes. I believe they are for the garden, not sure, but they are really, really cute. So I'm going to go in with the Folk Art Home Deco chalk paint in the color White Adirondack. Give it a light coat, not too thick, just in case I want to use the back one day. So here I'm taking 4. I end up just using 2, but I got these really cute little vintage Valentines that I'm going to use, and these particular ones fit perfectly on these hearts here. And since these Valentines are stickers, they just adhere on there like that and snap. And I sand off any excess paper, and I'm going to go in with my Waverly Antique Wax and give everything a nice light coat. Nice dry brushing. Taking my brush and blot it on my paper towel and just go for it. And again, if you go a little too heavy, don't worry, go back in with either some more of the white paint or a baby wipe or something. Or you could just skip the distressing altogether. If you don't like to distress, don't distress. It's all up to you. And I'll set them aside and allow them to dry completely. In the meantime, I'm taking these 2 really cute, they're like little crates from the Dollar Tree, and I believe they are new. And I'm going to remove the jute twine. I won't be needing them. I won't be hanging these, although you can totally hang them if you want to, but mine, they're going to be little planters. And now I'm going to go in with some of the Folk Art Home Deco chalk paint in the color White Adirondack. Give it a nice full coat, and go in with my Waverly Antique Wax and do a light brushing on the whole piece, on both pieces. As you can tell, I'm going for a rustic look on a lot of these projects today, just to give everything a little bit more definition, more character. But if you don't like to distress, you don't have to distress. And actually, these would be cute any color too. You can do them in the color plaster. But look how cute. Oh my goodness, they are so adorable. So now I'm taking 2 pieces of floral foam, and I'm taking some moss. Oh my goodness. The moss, I had to turn off the ceiling fan for this one. Oh my goodness, you know I had to turn that off. Because this stuff flies everywhere. But since those crates are slatted, I wanted to have that moss coming out of it, or at least where you could see it. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and place some of this moss all the way around this whole piece of floral foam, except for the underneath. The underneath it would be useless, but I do the top and all the sides. And look at this, I work so quick. So look, oh my goodness, it's going to be so adorable. Make sure to get a nice full coverage, and if there's anything peeking, just keep adding until you're satisfied with it. So now I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom of my crate and place my little floral foam moss covered pieces inside, and just try to get it as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always add some more moss through the little slats, which when I flip them to the side, I did notice that it does need a little bit more on the sides of the slats. So you'll see here, oh here I'm using my little silicone spatula. I don't want to burn my hands, because yeah, you can burn your hands with adhering moss so easily. So as you can see here, you can see the floral foam after all. I guess it kind of got squished up when I placed it inside the crate. But that's an easy fix. Just place some more there. More hot glue and some more moss and press it in with the silicone spatula. And the second one didn't have a need for too much of it, but just a little bit. Still, it's gonna look super cute. And if a lot of it kind of comes out of the slats, even better. Just has that real organic look. So just press it in there. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, so cute. So here they are, nice and finished. Now all I have to do is add my flowers and my garden stakes, and here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. Here, why number 4, I am taking this craft kit from the Dollar Tree, and it's a kit with a variety of pieces. There's some felt heart pieces and some little eyes and some chenille sticks, and they are kits to create these little critters. I guess one is like a little heart and one is a cupcake, but I'm just going to use these felt hearts. The red hearts is all I need from these kits. I couldn't find any felt hearts in this size other than what is in these kits, so these kits are what I'm going to use. And since they have like a smiley face on the inside of them, I'm going to place this piece back to back to hide that little smiley face. And I'm just going to adhere them with some hot glue, go around the perimeter because I'm going to create some stuffed hearts. So I'll just leave the bottom edge open and I'll go around both of these, and I'll even use my little clip just to keep everything nice and closed later on. So here I'm taking these little snowballs that I had left over from Christmas, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use them instead of the polyfill. Just cut it a little bit so that way they'll spread open, and I'll just start placing the little snowballs inside, and I just use one per heart, and I make sure to push it in there in both sides of the heart on the top, and when I get to the bottom I'll just make sure to get it nice and pushed in there. And now I'm going to take some hot glue and go around the edge and close it shut. And here's where I end up using some of my little clips. I actually used one for one of these. I think it's the second one. But pretty much they'll close just fine. So here I'm taking another piece of this burlap trim, this burlap ribbon, and I'm going to remove a couple strands. I'm just going to embellish my little heart with it and just wrap it around the front and go around to the back and adhere it on the back with some hot glue. And if you're going to do this, just make sure to use your silicone spatula because these burlap ribbons are not very thick and you can easily burn yourself. So definitely use your silicone spatula or a pair of scissors or whatever you use to help you with the hot glue. And here they are. Look how adorable. So now on one of these I'm going to go in with some of this white pom-pom trim, and I'm just putting a bead of glue on the front and adhering it and doing to the back and giving it that really adorable Valentine look. Oh my goodness, even though this pom-pom trim was from Christmas, hey, multi-use, right? Multi-use. But look how adorable. Oh my goodness, so cute. And I'm gonna go in with some more of these buttons. So I'm taking a red button and I'm going to adhere a white button with a little flower. It's like a flower shaped button, and adhere this whole piece onto my little pillow. Look how cute, my little stuffed heart. And for the second one, I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I'm just going to go in with another button. This one's a little lighter in color, and I'll place another one of these white little flower shaped buttons on top and adhering this whole piece to the top of my burlap piece. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. And now I need somewhere to put my little stuffed hearts into, so I'm going to take one of these metal envelopes that are so adorable this year from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to remove the sticker, and I'm going to show you. Just be careful, don't touch the metal itself because it's going to get hot with the heat gun. So don't touch the metal, just use some kind of a tool. I'm using my Cricut spatula to remove it, but it removed pretty easily. So now I don't want this heart either. This heart is kind of clashes with my look. So I'm going to heat it up with the heat gun as well. And using that same Cricut spatula, I'm just going to simply scrape it off, and it scrapes off pretty easily. And it comes right off. Just have to keep working it. But look at that. It just comes right off. So here it is. So now here is my little vintage sticker, Valentine sticker. I decided to use this cute little, it's like a cherub, a cupid. And here I place my little puffed hearts inside. So adorable. All it needs now is a jute twine bow, and I'll just adhere that to the top where the cupid is. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, I am taking one of these conversation hearts from the Dollar Tree, and I didn't feel bad removing all the paper on it because it was coming off anyway. So just finished removing it, and I'm just going to sand it all up with my finger sander till I get it nice and smooth. And now I'm going to go in with my Home Deco chalk paint color Willow Mist and give it a nice full coat. So it's a nice light pink heart now. And I'll go in with my Waverly Antique Wax to do a dry brushing. Again, going for that rustic Valentine kind of theme with all the vintage Valentines. They're so adorable. And here I'll go all the way around, and I'll do on the back. I did a little lighter on the back, and then I decided to just do the back for the front because it was the lightest. Although I did like the back, but I decided to use the front instead. So now I'm going with some of this pom-pom trim and taking a nice long piece, and I'm going to go around this whole little heart, or should I say big heart. It's kind of a big heart. Yeah, it's a nice big heart. And just putting a bead of glue and adhering the pom-pom ribbon all the way around. I think it just gives it such a sweet, sweet look. Oh my goodness, I love it. Kind of reminds me of the 60s or something, 70s maybe. Remembers the pom-poms on the lampshades. Am I dating myself? Hey, it's the stuff I grew up in my home. But look how adorable. Oh my goodness, I love it. So here I'm taking some of these wooden beads. They're just already painted white. And I'm going to adhere them with some hot glue and put them through a bamboo skewer because I'm going to create some feet. I want to create 2 feet for this piece, for this heart. And they're just going to be on the top part of the heart. That way when it sits on a display shelf or a table, the heart is kind of like leaning forward, if that makes any sense. So I'm just going to snip off all the excess bamboo skewer like so, and continue to remove the excess piece that's on top. Get it nice and flush. That way they'll get a nice adherence on the back of the wood piece. So make sure it's nice and flush, and then flip it over. And I'm just taking just regular old hot glue. This is Gorilla Glue, so it's really good. And I'll place one piece on one side and the other piece on the other side. And if you create this, you can always add another piece to the bottom side and make it a little razor. That would be cute too. So now all it needs is my little Valentine, and I didn't fussy cut this one because since it has the white trim, it goes with it, I think. And I'm just taking a nice fluffy white bow and adhering it to the top just for a finishing touch. And look how sweet. Oh my goodness. Here's how it looks and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 6, my last DIY of this video, I am taking one of these galvanized heart-shaped metal pieces from the Dollar Tree from Crafter Square. And all I'm going to do is take some jute twine, wrap it on the top part, and not too tight, kind of loosely actually. I'm just going to tie a knot, nice secure knot, And I'm just going to use this jute twine and wrap around this whole heart piece like this. And I'm using each of the edges to help keep it in place. And I'll just continue to go around until I am happy with the look. And now adhering the extra piece onto the back. And now I'm going to create the little hanger. This needs a little hanger. And I'll just place that on the little, there's like a little hanger on top, so I'll just hang it on there. And now all I have to do is take these pom-poms that are so sweet from the Dollar Tree. These are new for Valentine's. And I'm going to place this on the front and kind of tie it to the back on the little hanger that's back there. It's like a little metal hook. That's what it is, a hook, not a hanger. On the hook. And then go around the front, let it hang down a little bit and adhere that, or tie it. Snip off the excess piece of string that's on these pom-poms and secure with a double knot like so. And look how adorable. And now all I'm going to do is take some of these red clothespins, these little mini clothespins, and I got these at Christmas time last year at, I think it was either Family Dollar or Dollar, you know what, it was Dollar General. And I'm just going to clip them on some of these pieces of jute twine and pick out 3 of my favorite Valentines and just hang them on there to display them, just to make a little display for the Valentines. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, I just can't. So cute. Now it just needs a little bow. So here I made a cute little gingham bow, pink and white, and I'm just going to adhere it to the top of my metal heart just to give it a complete look. And here's how it looks. And here we're at the final reveal. So you have to let me know what you guys think. Which one was your favorite? And do you guys like these vintage Valentines? I think they are so adorable. And if you're interested on seeing the whole collection of this little pack that I purchased from Amazon, I created a 2-minute clip, and that's at the very end of this video. So you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but if you do, it's in the back of the video. And I'll include the link to this pack in my description box as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.